Welcome back to the Book Summary Podcast.
Oh.
Today we're diving into Grow Rich with Peace of Mind
Okay.
by Napoleon Hill. Now, you
Yeah.
might know Hill from Think and Grow Rich, his classic.
Mm-hmm.
But this book, this one was written later in his life.
Right.
It takes a fascinating turn.
Right. Yeah.
It's almost like he's unveiling a secret, like another level to success,
Like her.
one that goes beyond just the money.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It's like he's saying, okay, I've shown you all this stuff about achieving financial success,
Right.
but what good is it if you're just like a wreck inside?
Yeah.
You know? So this book is all about that balance,
Yeah.
that inner peace that lets you actually enjoy everything, all the fruits of your labor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is that Hill himself had to go through some major
Oh, yeah.
ups and downs
Yeah. Yeah.
before coming to this realization.
Totally.
So if you guys are enjoying this type of content,
Yeah.
make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more book deep dives.
Absolutely. Hill's own life, like his own story,
Yeah.
is woven throughout this whole book.
Right?
You know, he achieved incredible wealth and fame, but lost it all
Oh.
during the Depression.
Oh, wow.
But here's the thing. He actually said
Yeah.
that losing his estate was a relief.
Really?
It forced him to kind of confront, like,
Yeah.
what truly matters.
That's powerful.
Yeah,
That's a powerful lesson right there. It's so easy to get caught up
it is.
in the pursuit of wealth, you know, thinking that more
Like,
money
for sure.
equals more happiness. But
Yeah.
Hill's experience really shows that it's not that simple.
It's not that simple at all. He realized that,
Right.
you know, true peace of mind comes from mastering your thoughts and emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, from finding that contentment within yourself, regardless of what's going on outside.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. It's a message that really resonates, you
Yeah.
know? Especially now when we're constantly bombarded with messages about,
Oh, yeah.
you know, what we should have, who we should be.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, what was it?
Yeah.
What led Hill to this profound understanding of success?
Right.
So let's rewind a bit
Okay.
and explore his early life
Yeah.
and the things that influenced him. He didn't exactly have it easy, right?
No, not at all. He grew up in poverty,
Right.
and his dad actually had a pretty negative view of him.
Oh, wow.
But his stepmom, she played like a crucial role
Yeah.
in shaping his self-belief.
Really?
Like, imagine this, okay?
Mm.
She actually challenged Hill's father and said, this boy's not a bad boy. He just needs the right guidance and inspiration
Wow.
to achieve worthy objectives.
Talk about a turning point.
Right.
That's amazing. That kind of unwavering support can
Yeah.
make all the difference in someone's life,
Oh, absolutely. Especially.
especially
Yeah.
during those formative years.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Her belief in him, it became like a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know?
Wow.
And it really instilled in him this deep understanding
Yes.
of the power of positive reinforcement.
So we're starting to see the seeds of
Yeah.
Hill's philosophy being planted
Okay,
right
yeah.
here in his childhood.
Right back then, yeah.
And then, of course, there's the meeting with Andrew Carnegie.
Oh, yeah.
This was big,
Huge.
a turning point for Hill.
Yeah.
Carnegie challenged him to study the principles of success by interviewing over 500 successful people.
That's a lot of people.
And that research became
Yeah.
the foundation for Think and Grow Rich,
Totally.
and ultimately
Yeah.
for Grow Rich
Mm.
with Peace of Mind.
It's amazing to see how all of those early experiences
Mhm.
shaped his thinking. But Hill, he didn't just rely on other people for inspiration.
Right.
He was a really keen observer of human behavior.
Yeah.
One of his key concepts
Yeah.
is this idea of knowing your own mind.
And I
Mhm.
think that resonates with so many of us today.
I think so too.
You know, we're just bombarded
Oh, yeah.
with all these external influences telling us what to do,
Constantly.
what to think, even how to feel.
Right.
It's really easy to lose sight of our own
Yeah.
inner compass.
It's easy to get lost. Totally. Hull believed that true success begins with understanding yourself.
Right.
Like your values, your goals, your desires, all
Yeah.
that stuff. He tells this compelling story
Right.
about Manuel L. Quezon,
Okay.
who became, by the way, the first president of the Philippines.
Wow.
Quezon, he had this burning desire
Right.
to free his people from colonial rule.
Mm-hmm.
And Hill taught him the power of setting a definite goal and a time limit for it,
Okay.
and then reinforcing it every day through affirmations.
Wow.
Yeah, and Quezon actually attributed his success
Wow.
to Hill's guidance. He believed those daily affirmations helped him stay focused, and motivated, even during those tough times when things were rough.
That's amazing.
It's really powerful. Yeah. Another story that's really inspiring is about W. Clement Stone. This guy went from selling newspapers on the street
Wow.
to building a multi-million-dollar insurance empire.
If you guys are enjoying these stories so far,
Yeah.
don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe
Yeah, that button.
for more deep dives into insightful books like this.
Exactly.
So what was it about Stone's story that resonated with Hill?
Stone, he discovered his goals early on. Even as a young boy selling those newspapers,
Yeah.
he had incredible self-belief and drive. He was a natural salesman.
Yeah.
But more importantly, he was really resilient. He didn't let setbacks define him. He saw them as opportunities to learn and grow.
It's a common thread we
Yeah.
see in these successful people. It's not about avoiding failure, but about how you respond to it.
Exactly. It's all about the bounce back. And this
Ah.
kind of brings us to one of Hill's key observations.
Right.
Success,
That's
consciousness.
that consciousness.
He noticed that successful people, it didn't matter their background or education.
Yeah.
They shared this common trait. It's this mindset where you're not just thinking about success,
Right.
you're actively pursuing it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you really believe in your ability to achieve your goals even when things are tough.
It's like you have this
Yeah.
internal compass
Yeah, exactly.
guiding you toward your vision.
It's not just about thinking positively.
Yeah.
It's about taking action.
Exactly.
Hill uses the example of Henry Ford.
Okay.
Limited formal education,
Right.
but revolutionized the auto industry. He was a man of action,
Right.
always experimenting, innovating, pushing the limits
Yeah.
of what was possible.
So it's not about what you know. It's
Yeah.
about what you do
Right. It's about what you do.
with what you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's about believing in yourself,
Yeah.
even when others doubt you.
Even when people tell you you can't. That self-belief, it's huge. It's tied
That's
to...
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tied to another concept Hill introduces, spiritual defenses.
Okay.
Now, this isn't about religion, okay? It's about building that mental fortitude, that resilience,
Yeah.
the ability to withstand challenges without losing your inner peace.
Okay.
He uses this metaphor of a medieval castle with layers of defenses to describe how you can protect your mind
Wow.
from negativity and distractions.
A great analogy.
Yeah.
It's like building up your
Yeah.
inner strength so you can withstand the inevitable
Yeah.
storms.
Yeah.
And speaking of storms,
Mm-hmm.
Hill shares a pretty intense anecdote
Mm-hmm.
about Don R. Mellett,
Okay.
his business partner, to illustrate how even tragedy can lead to unexpected benefits.
Yeah.
And this is where Hill's philosophy really starts to
Yeah.
take shape.
It starts to come together.
So what happened with Mellett?
Well, Mellett, he was a newspaper publisher.
Okay.
He was murdered.
Wow.
It was devastating for Hill, both personally and professionally.
Yeah. I can only imagine
Yeah.
the impact that would have.
Huge impact.
It would be easy to just
Yeah.
succumb to despair and give up,
For sure.
but Hill saw it differently.
But Hill, he always,
Yeah.
he had this belief that every adversity holds the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit,
Wow.
And in this case, it forced him to recess his path,
Yeah.
which led him to a new publisher who helped him expand his work even further.
That's incredible.
Right.
He turned tragedy
Yeah,
into an opportunity for growth and expansion.
exactly.
That's a testament to his positive thinking.
Absolutely.
He contrasts that experience with Abraham Lincoln,
Oh, yeah.
who faced countless setbacks and failures,
Right.
but chose to use those
Yeah.
as fuel,
As fuel for growth. Exactly.
ultimately becoming one of the most influential people
Yeah.
in history.
It's amazing.
It's a powerful reminder that we have a choice
Always a choice.
in how we respond to adversity.
It's all about how you choose to respond.
We can let it define us,
Yeah.
or we can use it
Yeah.
to learn and grow
And become stronger.
become stronger.
Exactly.
Hill Micah believed in closing the door on the past.
Oh, yeah.
He emphasizes the power of choice
Yeah.
in how your past affects your present and future. He even shares this personal story
Yeah.
about a woman he was once in love with.
Okay.
He was devastated when it ended, but years later he realized
Yeah.
things worked out for the best.
Yeah.
The woman he ended up marrying
Right.
was a much better fit
Yeah.
and contributed to his success.
It's a great example of how what seems like a setback
Yeah.
can actually lead to greater happiness.
Yeah.
It's about trusting that things happen for a reason,
Right.
that there's a bigger plan unfolding.
Right. So Hill encourages readers
Yeah.
to see their past not as this chain holding them back,
Right.
but as a source of wisdom and resilience.
It's all about perspective.
Now, that's a powerful shift
It is. It is.
in perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we can all benefit from.
Absolutely.
Speaking of applying principles,
Yeah.
Hill puts a lot of emphasis on honesty,
Honesty.
even in the pursuit of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that is?
He believed that if you compromise your integrity for financial gain,
Yeah.
it would ultimately just rob you his peace of mind.
Right.
It'd be this hollow victory, you know?
Yeah.
What good is all the wealth
Yeah.
if you're constantly wrestling with your conscience?
That's a great point.
Right.
It's about aligning your actions with your values.
Yeah, it's about being true to yourself.
And I think that's something
Yeah.
that's becoming increasingly important today,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
where it's so easy to get caught up
For sure.
in the pursuit of success at any cost.
Yeah, at any cost.
Hmm.
He actually gives examples of
Yeah.
people who only found peace of mind
Yeah.
after they abandoned those dishonest practices.
Right.
They realized that true wealth comes from honest effort
Yeah.
and creating value for other people,
Right.
not from cutting corners or exploiting others.
So it's not just about
Yeah.
what you achieve, it's how
Yeah.
you achieve.
Exactly.
It's the how.
Yeah. And this ties in with his idea of
It does. It ties in with
going the extra mile.
going the extra mile,
Yeah.
particularly in your work.
Especially at work. Yeah.
LB believed that approaching your work with excellence
Mm-hmm.
and that desire to contribute more than what's expected
Right.
is key to overcoming resentment and achieving greater
Yeah.
success.
Yeah.
It's not about being a workaholic.
No, it's not about that.
It's about finding fulfillment in
It's about finding that
Some.
fulfillment. Yeah.
It's about taking pride in your work,
Yeah, exactly.
regardless of your position or title.
Your position doesn't matter. It's about the pride you take in your work. And it can lead to some really cool rewards.
Yeah.
Unexpected rewards. He uses this example of a
Uh-huh.
young man who worked as an estimator
Okay.
for a printing firm.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he decided to go the extra mile
Yeah.
by studying typefaces and design principles
Oh.
to enhance the quality of the
Wow.
printing jobs.
Yeah.
His boss, he recognized
Yeah.
his initiative and commitment to excellence,
Yeah.
and he got a promotion, greater job satisfaction.
So it's about taking ownership
Yes.
and finding ways to add value, even in mundane tasks,
Even in the
small things.
Right. It's about exceeding those
Correct.
expectations.
It's about going above and beyond,
and constantly seeking ways to improve.
constantly improving. And that can lead to a greater sense of purpose
It can, yeah.
and mastery,
yeah.
which contributes to peace of mind.
It's to peace of mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting ahead.
Right.
It's about becoming
It's about becoming
the best version of yourself.
the best version of yourself. And speaking of becoming the best version,
Right.
Hill really emphasizes developing a positive mental attitude. He keeps coming back to that again and again.
It seems like
Yes.
that's the foundation
Yeah.
for his whole philosophy.
It really is the foundation.
Like everything is built on that.
Yeah, like the bedrock. Yeah, for sure.
Huh?
He believed that a positive mental attitude
Right.
is essential for both success and peace of mind.
Right.
It's about choosing to focus on the good, on
Mhm.
possibilities, on solutions,
Mm.
rather than dwelling on negativity or problems or limitations.
It's about seeing the glass half full.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's not about ignoring the challenges.
Yeah.
It's about approaching them in a constructive way.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
He actually compares fear.
He compares it to prayer in reverse.
Prayer in reverse.
Yeah. So with prayer,
Yeah.
you're appealing to a higher power for something positive.
Right.
But with fear, you're focusing on something negative,
Oh, wow.
which actually makes it more likely to happen.
So you're almost inviting what you fear.
You're kind of putting it out there, yeah.
Hill gives this long list of fears that hold people back.
Oh, yeah.
Fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, old age,
Mhm.
even death.
All the big ones. He argues that fear is often rooted in a lack of understanding
Yeah.
and can be overcome through knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
faith,
Right.
and focusing on the present moment,
right.
He shares a story about a man who was in prison for embezzlement.
Wow.
While he was in prison,
Right.
he realized that his fear and hatred were doing more harm
Right.
than the situation itself.
That's a powerful.
Powerful realization.
Yeah.
It's like those thoughts and emotions can either imprison you or liberate you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So this guy, he chose to forgive the people who wronged him
Right.
and focus on rebuilding his life
Yeah.
with a positive attitude.
Wow.
And you know what? When he got out,
Yeah.
he found success and peace of mind. Hilla stresses that it's never too late to change your mindset and turn things around.
That's great. It's a reminder
Yeah.
that we always have a choice
Always a choice.
in how we respond
Yeah.
to our circumstances.
Exactly.
We can be victims or victors.
Victims or victors, yeah.
Yeah.
And Hill provides like actual techniques for cultivating a positive mental attitude.
Right.
He talks about the importance of controlling these 7 positive and 2 negative motives that drive human behavior.
And this is where his insights into
Yeah.
human psychology are so valuable.
I think so too.
So what are these motives?
The 2 negative ones are fear and anger, right? Which can be super destructive if you don't keep them in check.
Right.
But the 7 positive ones, like the desire for love, security, knowledge, those can be harnessed to achieve amazing things.
So it's about recognizing
Yeah.
those motives within ourselves
Recognizing them.
and
yeah.
learning how to
Yeah.
direct them in a positive.
Direct them positively.
Yeah.
Yeah. He uses this analogy of spiritual princes
Okay.
to represent different aspects of your personality. And he suggests creating a prince of peace of mind
Prince of peace of mind.
to guard against the negativity.
That's a great
Love
visual. It's like having
Yeah.
this inner bodyguard
Yeah.
protecting your mental well-being.
Protecting your peace of mind. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. So let's talk about money.
Yeah.
Now, Hill, he doesn't shy away from the importance of money,
Right.
but he does advocate for a healthy perspective.
Yeah.
What do you think he meant by that?
It seems like he's saying that money
Yeah.
is a tool.
A tool,
Yeah.
and it can be used.
It can be used for good or bad. But the key is to master your relationship with it
Right,
rather than letting it master you.
right. He cautions against the relentless pursuit of money because it can
Yeah.
easily rob you
Easel.
of peace of mind.
Yeah.
He says it's important to find contentment and a sense of purpose that goes beyond
Yes.
material wealth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he shares these anecdotes about people who made tons of money but still felt
Yeah.
empty,
Right.
unfulfilled.
Right.
And he contrasts them with others
Yeah.
who found contentment and peace of mind by aligning their financial goals with their values
Right.
and using their wealth to make a positive impact on the world.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where
Yeah,
your financial goals are in alignment
totally.
with your deeper purpose.
And recognizing that true wealth
Yeah,
is more than just money.
absolutely. Yeah. He argues that money earned through,
Constructive work that benefits others
yeah.
is more likely to bring lasting satisfaction.
It's about creating value, not just accumulating wealth.
Right. And it's about finding meaning in your work,
Exactly.
regardless of your
Yeah.
income level.
He actually cautions against inheriting wealth
Really?
or acquiring it through
Yeah.
speculation
Okay.
because he thinks it can lead to a sense of entitlement
Right.
and disconnect you from
Uh-huh.
the value of hard work.
He believes that everyone, regardless of their background,
Yeah.
should have the opportunity
Yeah,
to experience the dignity of work,
exactly.
the satisfaction of earning their own way.
Yeah, it's about building character
Right.
and self-reliance.
Yeah. He advocates for teaching kids the value of money
Oh, yeah.
and the importance of saving.
Huge. He tells the story about a young couple who were always in debt
Oh, no.
because they were always buying things on time.
That's a trap
Oh, it's
a lot of people fall into,
easy to fall into, especially today
especially today.
with our
Yeah.
consumer-driven society.
Instant gratification.
Exactly. But this couple, they decided to break that cycle
Okay.
by paying cash for everything.
Wow.
And guess what? They discovered they actually enjoyed shopping more
Wow.
and they had a greater appreciation
Yeah.
for the value of money. Hill stresses that saving isn't about deprivation,
Right,
it's
yeah.
about creating freedom and opportunity.
So it's about taking
Yeah.
control of your finances and making
Conscious
And
choices. Yeah.
choices about how you spend your money.
Exactly. And it can really lead
Yeah.
to greater peace of mind,
Right.
knowing that you're not
Yeah.
living beyond your means.
Right. He provides
He does. He gives
some
tips.
practical tips
Yeah.
for saving. Like,
Like making a list of all your expenses, right?
Yeah.
And figure out
Yep.
where you can cut back.
yeah.
He also encourages people to
Yeah.
track their spending habits.
Right. Become more aware
Yeah, to be more
where
aware.
their money is going.
Exactly. Be mindful and intentional
Right.
with your money.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a chore. He even suggests making it fun.
Really?
He tells a story about a couple who turned saving into a game. They called it Turkish Bridge. They played it every week.
That's a great example
Right.
of approaching financial challenges
Yeah.
with a positive attitude.
With a positive attitude.
Making it enjoyable.
Exactly. Yeah. Make it fun.
Not a source of stress.
Not stressful.
And that's a key takeaway from
Yeah.
this part of the book.
It is.
It's not about denying yourself.
Yes.
It's about aligning your financial goals,
It's about aligning.
with your values,
Yeah.
and your desire for peace of mind.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll be back in a moment to continue
Yeah.
exploring Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives
Yeah.
into insightful books
Yeah.
like this one.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll be right back. Cece? With more fascinating insights from Napoleon Hill. Welcome back to our deep dive into Napoleon Hill's Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. Before the break, we were talking about the importance of having a healthy relationship with money. So let's move into this concept of sharing.
Okay, so we often hear it's better to give than to receive.
Yeah.
But Hill takes it a step further, right? He doesn't just talk about giving money. He talks about sharing your time, knowledge, skills, and resources.
Yeah. It's almost like he's saying that giving is an investment in your own peace of mind.
That's interesting.
He saw sharing as a way to kind of create this ripple effect of positivity and abundance, both for yourself and for others.
And that's
He even says,
Yeah.
the more you give, the more you receive.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
And he uses a story
Oh, yeah.
to illustrate this point.
Well, great story.
It involves this guy, Edward Choate,
Mm-hmm.
a successful insurance salesman who decided to dedicate a big chunk of his time to helping the government sell war bonds during World War II.
Yeah.
What's remarkable is that he wasn't getting paid for it.
Right. He was basically giving away 90% of his working hours. Now, you might think, well, that's noble, but how's that going to help him be successful?
Right, exactly.
How's that going to help him achieve peace of mind?
Seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, you would think so.
Right.
Especially from, like, a
Right.
business perspective. But here's the thing. After the war, his business just boomed.
Really?
People remembered his generosity, his selflessness.
Oh, wow.
They wanted to do business with him.
Wow.
He ended up selling millions of dollars worth of insurance, mostly to people who had been touched by his war bond efforts.
So it's almost like what goes around comes around, but on a deeper level.
Right. Hill calls this the law of compensation.
Okay.
The idea is that when you give freely, you create this kind of like a karmic debt that will eventually be repaid, often in unexpected and abundant ways.
Right. Yeah.
It's like every act of giving, you become a creditor,
Yeah.
and those debts are ultimately settled.
Interesting. It's not about expecting something back.
Right.
It's about understanding that your actions create
Exactly.
energy that ultimately comes back to you.
It's all about energy.
Now, Hill
Mhm.
doesn't just talk about giving on this grand scale. He talks about sharing
Oh, yeah. He talks about
within our own homes.
sharing within the home. And he specifically criticizes this idea of one person controlling all the finances in a household.
Oh, okay.
He thinks it creates an imbalance that can lead to
Yeah.
resentment and conflict.
Yeah.
So he encourages
Okay.
open communication and shared decision-making about finances,
Right.
which I think is crucial for a healthy relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. For
Yeah.
a harmonious
Right.
relationship.
Yeah. He stresses the importance of trust and transparency between partners. He gives an example of a husband
Okay.
who keeps his income a secret from his wife, and then she has to, like, beg him for money.
That sounds so
Yeah,
unhealthy.
He's super unhealthy.
Like you're creating this dynamic of
It creates this weird,
dependence,
this dependence, this power dynamic that's
undermining a sense of equality and partnership.
not good at all.
Yeah.
So Phil Hill argues that sharing within the home isn't just about money. It's about sharing experiences and responsibilities and dreams even.
Right.
It's about creating that sense of partnership and mutual respect. He's got another story
Oh, yeah.
about two neighbors to illustrate this point.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
So one neighbor
Yeah.
accidentally damaged his lawnmower while he was borrowing it.
Oh, no.
Instead of being honest, he just kind of avoided
Yeah.
the neighbor because he felt ashamed and guilty.
I've been there. So
Yeah.
tempting to just avoid it.
Oh, yeah, it's hard. But then His finances got better, and he decided to make things right. He bought the neighbor a brand new lawnmower to replace the damaged one.
That's great.
Right? It shows how a simple act of generosity can go such a long way in repairing a relationship.
Right, clear the air.
Clear the air, yeah, and probably freed him from all that guilt he was carrying.
Right. So it's a reminder that honesty and genuine giving can be
Liberating.
really liberating.
Yeah, it can create space for a deeper connection and peace of mind. Now, let's talk about Hill's views on the ego.
Okay.
It's a concept that often gets a bad rap.
Yeah, like you're not supposed to have an ego.
Right. But Hill sees it as this powerful driving force.
Okay.
Not necessarily in a bad way.
Yeah, that's interesting because we're always told to suppress our egos, be humble.
Right. But Hill seems to be saying that a healthy ego is actually essential for achieving success.
Right.
He believed it was crucial for self-confidence
Yeah.
and for pursuing your goals with conviction.
Okay.
He actually suggests using tools or symbols to boost your ego.
Like, give me some examples.
Okay, so he talks about things like driving a nice car,
Okay.
wearing a special piece of jewelry, maybe carrying a fancy golf bag.
So it's not about being...
No, it's not about it's not about being flashy or anything.
Right.
It's about those things representing something deeper, right? A sense of accomplishment and self-worth.
So almost like creating a visual...
Yeah, like a visual...
representation of your inner beliefs.
Exactly, a visual representation of your success.
To reinforce those beliefs.
To reinforce them. And to project them outward to the world.
Yeah.
Exactly. He gives this example of an insurance salesman who always carried this high-end golf bag in his car. Now, he rarely played golf, but
Interesting.
the bag served as a symbol
Okay.
of his success. It helped him project this image of confidence.
Right.
It boosted his ego and gave him an edge
Okay.
in his sales interactions.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah. But Hill also acknowledges that the ego can be fragile, right?
Oh, yeah.
It can be easily damaged by criticism or negative self-talk.
Right. It's so easy to let those negative voices
Jitterbug.
get into our heads
Yeah.
and undermine our confidence.
Totally. So Hill encourages us to be mindful of our inner dialogue and to swap those negative self-beliefs with positive affirmations.
Right. So it's almost like retraining your brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He even suggests asking yourself questions about your childhood,
Okay.
to uncover any deep-seated insecurities that might be holding you back.
It's interesting.
It's about getting to the root of those limiting beliefs
Yeah.
and replacing them with more empowering ones.
That makes sense.
He tells this story about a salesman who had been in the field for 30 years,
Wow.
but was really struggling with a fear of failure.
Oh, wow.
He'd convinced himself that he was too old
Oh, no.
to be successful, and this belief was affecting his performance.
So he's creating his own limitations.
He was, totally. Hill encouraged him to focus on his strengths and his experience and to see his age as an asset, not a liability.
Right. So reframing
Reframe it.
your perspective.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this brings us to a topic that might be a little controversial.
Okay.
Hill's views on sexual energy and its connection to achievement.
Okay. This is where Hill's thinking really
Yeah.
pushes the boundaries.
He pushes the boundary.
He's not afraid to explore these topics that
No, he's not.
others shy away from.
He goes there. He saw sexual energy as this powerful force that could be channeled into productive things.
Right.
He believed that successful people often have this strong life force,
Yeah.
this drive that just propels them forward.
Right. And he's not talking about being promiscuous
No.
or using your sexuality
It's not about
to manipulate others.
manipulation.
But it's about
It's about recognizing
that energy.
Yeah, that raw energy and passion that we all have.
Right. And finding constructive ways
Constructive ways.
to express it.
Yeah. He shares a story about an insurance salesman who society might have considered him a tramp.
A tramp?
Yeah, like unkempt hair, scruffy beard, no social graces whatsoever.
Not your typical image of a successful
Yeah.
business.
But this guy, he was incredibly successful.
Really?
He had this raw energy and charisma.
Like he had this magnetism that transcended his outward appearance.
Exactly, this magnetism. Hill argued that this guy's success was partly due to his ability to channel that sexual energy into his work.
So he had this
Yeah.
drive and passion.
He had this drive, this passion
Yeah.
that you just couldn't ignore. He gives another example of a minister
Okay.
who used his sexual energy to deliver powerful and captivating sermons. He became super successful, attracting huge crowds.
So again, it's not about being
Right.
overtly sexual. It's about
It's about tapping into
tapping into
that raw energy and passion
that raw energy and passion.
that resides within us.
Finding those
Yeah.
constructive ways to express it.
Express it in a healthy way. Exactly.
Right. That's a key takeaway from this part
It is.
in the book.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing the power within ourselves,
Yeah.
whether it's the power of our minds, the power of our beliefs, or the power of our
Yeah.
raw life force,
Our raw life force.
and using it
And use it to create
to create the
the
lives
energy we want.
we want.
Exactly.
And one way to harness that power, according to Hill, is through
Collaboration.
collaboration.
Yeah. Which brings us to his concept of the mastermind principle.
The mastermind principle.
Uh,
Okay, tell me more about that.
He believed that working together in harmony
Okay.
can amplify your individual potential and lead to breakthroughs that you wouldn't be able to achieve on your own.
The whole is greater.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole
Whole
than the sum of its parts.
is greater than the sum of its parts.
Okay.
And he outlines a specific process for forming a mastermind group.
Okay.
He stresses having a shared purpose
Okay.
and a commitment to mutual support and growth. So he recommends starting with a small group of people who share your values and goals.
Right. Like-minded people.
Like-minded people, yeah.
Okay.
And he emphasizes keeping the discussions confidential.
Right. We get a safe space.
A safe space, exactly.
Yeah.
And focus on positive and constructive solutions,
Ah.
not just complaining about the problems.
Right. And he suggests rotating
He does. He said,
leadership roles.
yeah, rotate leadership,
Something group.
make sure everyone has a voice, feels heard,
Okay.
creates a really cool dynamic where everybody feels valued
Right.
and empowered
Yeah.
to contribute.
Okay.
And he gives examples of how this can be applied in all sorts of fields. For instance, a life insurance agent, they could use a mastermind group to brainstorm creative marketing strategies. Or to support and guide new recruits,
Okay. Yeah.
clergymen, they could form mastermind groups with members of their congregation,
Okay.
to address community issues, provide support to people in need.
So it's about coming together
It's about
to create solutions
solutions that benefit
that benefit
not just,
the individuals, but the
individuals, but the
community.
wider community.
Hill saw mastermind groups as this powerful force for positive change in the world.
Right, and a reminder that we're
It's a reminder that we're all
all interconnected
interconnected.
and we can achieve more
So much more
when we work together.
when we work together. Exactly.
Now let's talk about worry.
Oh, yeah. Worry. Hill knows the importance of finding ways
Yeah,
to eliminate worry
right.
and cultivate peace of mind.
And he says it's important to recognize
Yeah.
that worry comes from dwelling on the past or fearing the future.
Yeah.
The key is to focus on the present moment.
Be present.
Yeah.
To take constructive action.
Exactly.
To address those challenges.
He encourages people to find, simple ways
Right.
to de-stress,
Yeah.
quiet their minds,
Things like spending time in nature,
go for a walk,
listening to music,
listen to some tunes.
pursuing hobbies,
Yeah, do what you love.
connecting with loved ones.
Spend time with people you care about.
Right. Finding what works for you.
Find what works for you.
Making it a regular
Yeah, make it a habit.
part of your routine.
He also emphasizes accepting the things you can't control and focusing on what you can. He tells a story about a man
Okay.
who was part of a mastermind group, and he had this big realization. He discovered his biggest problem was that he was overcomplicating things.
Right. He was making things bigger.
Making them way bigger
In his mind.
in his mind than they really were.
Right.
So the group helped him break down those challenges
Yeah.
into smaller parts.
Smaller, more manageable.
Manageable. Exactly. And that's often the key. Break it down.
Break it down.
Focus on what you can control.
And Hill says that's the essence of the supreme secret.
That's it. The supreme secret.
Yep.
Finding peace of mind by simplifying your life.
Right.
And focusing on what truly matters.
Declutter your mind.
Declutter your mind.
Yeah.
And your physical space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He says an efficient mind is a simple mind,
Okay.
one that's not cluttered with worries and fears.
Yeah.
He tells another story, this time, about a businessman who was always bragging
Oh, no.
about his success. especially his ability to time the stock market perfectly.
Oh, we all know those types. Always taking credit
Oh, yeah.
for everything.
Taking credit for everything. But Hill points out this guy
Yeah.
failed to acknowledge all the factors outside of his control
Right.
that helped him succeed.
Right.
Things like the development of the car, good highways, the credit card system.
He's missing the bigger picture. He is. He's inflating his own importance and missing the bigger picture completely. It's about
Yeah.
humility,
Yeah.
recognizing that we're all part of something much bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes, it's
Yeah.
the simplest things
Yeah.
that can bring us peace. Hill shares a personal story about how he used to be super anxious about answering the phone. He was afraid it would be bad news or another demand on his time.
Oh, yeah, that feeling of dread when the phone rings.
You know it.
Yeah.
But he learned to let go of that fear, to approach each phone call with, like, curiosity, and
Yeah.
peace. He realized he was creating his own anxiety by assuming the worst.
Right. And he said
Yeah.
he even remembers a time when a policeman
Yeah.
rang his doorbell.
Yeah.
And instead of being apprehensive,
Mm-hmm.
he was just curious.
Curious.
Like, why is this officer here?
Exactly. He realized he had a choice in how he responded. He could
Mhm.
choose fear and anxiety,
Right.
or he could choose,
Curiosity and openness. And by choosing that second option,
Yeah.
he created a much more peaceful experience.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So Hill uses that story to illustrate that. As you cultivate peace of mind,
Yeah.
you become less reactive to external things.
Mm-hmm.
You develop this inner calm that helps you navigate life's ups and downs with more grace.
Equanimity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's realizing that ultimately nothing matters as much as you think it does.
Right.
And it doesn't mean becoming indifferent or apathetic.
Right.
It just means maintaining perspective
Yeah.
and not getting caught up
Yeah.
in the drama of daily life.
Yeah.
Hill believed this perspective was essential for peace of mind.
Right.
He encourages people to embrace this idea that ultimately
Yeah.
nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To use that realization to free themselves
Yeah.
from worry and fear.
It's about focusing on what's
Yeah.
truly important.
The things that really matter. Your relationships.
Your purpose, your experiences, not letting the little things get you down.
And Hill says this doesn't mean being passive.
It doesn't mean that, no.
It's about
It's about finding that balance
Right.
between taking action and surrendering to what is. He encourages people to, write their own story.
write their own story.
Yeah, to live life on their own terms.
Okay.
Make choices that align with their
Yeah.
values and goals.
Take ownership
Take ownership
of your life.
Yeah.
Create a narrative
Create a narrative
that feels authentic
that feels true to you.
and fulfilling.
Exactly. Yeah. He shares this
Yeah.
personal story about a time when he was writing a book
Yeah.
and he felt all this pressure to cater to the expectations.
Yeah, it's so easy to do.
Oh, it's so easy to get caught up in trying to
Please everyone.
please other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he realized he was compromising his own voice and message
Yeah.
just to try to please others. So he decided to break free from that.
Okay. And write the book he really wanted to write.
Wow. That takes a lot of
It takes courage. Yeah.
courage.
It's about trusting your gut
Yeah.
and staying true to your vision. He argues that this is essential for creative expression and peace of mind.
Mm.
You can't really be yourself if you're always trying to conform to other people's expectations.
It's about finding your own unique path.
Find your own path,
Yeah. Even if it goes
even if it's different.
against the grain.
Exactly. He uses the example of Elbert Hubbard, who was a successful writer and publisher
Right.
who lived and worked on his own terms.
It's so inspiring to see examples like that
It is inspiring.
of people who
Yeah.
blazed their own trails
Yeah.
and just lived life on their own terms.
Yeah. So Hubbard, he wasn't afraid to express his opinions,
Yeah.
to challenge conventional thinking.
Yeah.
And he built this successful career
Right.
by just being himself.
It's okay to be different.
It's more than okay.
Think outside the box. Absolutely.
Challenge the status quo.
Challenge everything.
Yeah.
So Hill encourages people to find their own path to peace and fulfillment,
Right.
even if it means going against the grain or, defying what society tells them to do,
It's about living authentically,
living authentically.
creating a life
Yeah.
that reflects your values and passions.
Your passions.
Yeah.
And sometimes that path leads to unexpected experiences,
It does.
even mystical ones.
Yeah.
Hill talks about
Wait, he does.
a profound experience he had where he received a message
Yeah.
from a master
From a master.
who revealed
Yeah.
the supreme secret of life.
The supreme secret. It's intriguing, right?
That is intriguing. What was the supreme secret?
Well, the message emphasized self-mastery,
Oh,
overcoming inner turmoil, and navigating what he called the jungle of life
okay.
to achieve a state of spiritual enlightenment.
So it's about finding
Yeah.
that inner peace and wisdom
Yeah.
that goes beyond those
Yeah.
everyday
Beyond the everyday.
challenges.
The master said that the path to mastery is a solitary one, but for those who persevere,
Right.
they'll find peace, abundance, and fulfillment. So it's a reminder that the journey of self-discovery is often a solo one,
Yeah,
but it's worth the effort.
absolutely. Yeah.
And Hill uses this to show that there's this deeper
Yeah.
dimension to life, this
Right.
spiritual realm that you can access
Yeah.
through self-awareness, discipline, and commitment to growth.
It's about going beyond the material
Go beyond the material,
and connecting with
connect with something greater.
something greater than ourselves.
Yeah.
So he encourages people to find their own path.
Yeah, find your own
It's a
path,
spiritual understanding.
the spiritual understanding.
To connect with that power greater than themselves.
Yeah.
To embrace
Embrace the journey.
that journey of self-discovery.
Because we're all on a journey.
We are all on a journey.
Right. And the challenges, they're just opportunities for growth and transformation.
Right.
So he argues that
Right.
by embracing those challenges,
Yeah.
we can discover
Our true potential.
our true potential
Yeah.
and create a life
Yeah.
of purpose and meaning.
It's a process, not a
Process.
destination.
A journey.
A
Journey
journey.
itself.
It's a reward.
Exactly.
And that's where we'll leave off for now.
Okay. Sounds good.
If you're enjoying this deep dive, hit that like button and share it with your friends.
Garrett.
We'll be back in a moment to explore the final chapter of Grow Rich with Peace of Mind,
Looking forward to it.
where Hill brings it all together.
Yeah, it all comes together.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into Napoleon Hill's Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. Before the break, we were talking about Hill's own journey of self-discovery and those profound insights it led him to. So in the final chapter, he brings everything together, and he starts by reiterating this theme that we see throughout the book, the power of belief.
And he doesn't just talk about belief in some vague sense, like believe in yourself. He talks about belief as this powerful force that can literally shape reality.
Okay?
And he illustrates this with the story about his son, Blair.
This is where those personal experiences really hit home. So what was unique about Blair?
Blair was born without ears.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And doctors, they said he would never be able to hear properly.
Wow.
But Hill just refused to accept that. He absolutely believed that Blair could learn to hear even without fully developed ears.
It's amazing how our beliefs can shape reality, not just for ourselves,
Yeah.
but for the people around us. So what happened? Did Blair overcome that?
He did. Through all sorts of techniques, Blair actually developed the ability to hear. He achieved about 65% of normal hearing levels.
That's incredible. That's a real testament to the power of belief and the potential of the human mind.
Yeah, it's really remarkable.
But Hill doesn't just stop there. He goes on to share several examples of people who defied conventional wisdom and achieved success because they believed in their ideas no matter what anyone said.
He talks about Christopher Columbus, who was ridiculed and doubted, but persisted in his belief that he could reach the East by sailing west.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got the Wright brothers, who were told that human flight was just impossible.
Right. And they proved everyone wrong.
Exactly. They refused to accept those limitations and change the world.
It reminds me that so-called experts are often wrong. It's those who challenge the status quo that really make history.
Yeah, those who dare to believe in something different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not just about believing in those big, groundbreaking ideas. It's about believing in ourselves.
Right. Hill encourages us to identify our own limiting beliefs, those negative thoughts that hold us back from achieving our full potential. He says that we often create our own obstacles through doubt and fear.
Yeah, it's like we have these inner saboteurs whispering doubts in our ears all the time.
Exactly. And he challenges us to ask ourselves this simple but powerful question: what would I attempt to do if I knew I could not fail?
Oh, I love that. It's about giving ourselves permission to dream big.
Yeah, to go for it without being afraid of failure.
And he offers a practical way to kind of reprogram our minds for success, right?
He does. He calls it autosuggestion.
Autosuggestion. Okay.
Yeah. The first step is to define your goal. What do you want? Be specific about it. How much money do you want to earn? What's the time frame for achieving it? What service or product will you provide in return?
So it's about getting crystal clear on your vision.
Exactly. And then write it down. Write down your goal in detail. Read it out loud twice a day, every morning and evening. And as you're reading it, visualize yourself already achieving it.
So here's where visualization comes in, creating that mental picture.
Right, that mental picture of yourself already living that life that you want. And it's not just about thinking it, it's about feeling those emotions, those feelings of success as if it's already happening.
Okay.
The third step is to put a copy of your goal somewhere, you'll see it constantly, a reminder of what you're working towards.
Keep those goals front and center.
Exactly. But Hill also emphasizes that it's not just about working on your own, you know. It's also important to surround yourself with people who believe in your goals.
Yeah, build a supportive network.
A supportive network. And don't be afraid to seek out mentors, advisors, you know, people who have walked the path you're on and can give you some guidance.
Right, people who have experience and insights to share.
Exactly. And finally, he really stresses taking action. It's not enough to just dream and visualize. You have to make it happen.
It's about turning those dreams into reality.
Absolutely. He reminds us that the subconscious mind is like fertile ground. It will grow whatever you plant in it.
So we need to be mindful of what we're planting.
Exactly. Focus on the positive and the empowering. By focusing your thoughts and actions on what you want, you create a self-fulfilling prophecy. You draw success and abundance into your life.
It's about becoming the architect of your own destiny.
Absolutely. And Hill concludes by reminding us, we are all capable of achieving great things. The only limits are the ones we set for ourselves.
That's powerful.
He encourages us to embrace our potential, to believe in ourselves, and to live each day with purpose and passion.
It's about living a life that feels meaningful, right?
Exactly. And he reminds us that life is a gift, and we have the power to create a life filled with meaning, success, and peace of mind.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
He challenges us to not settle for mediocrity, but to strive for excellence in everything we do. And he leaves us with this final thought-provoking question. What legacy will you leave behind?
Wow. That's a question that really makes you think. What legacy will you leave behind?
It's a powerful question. It encourages us to think beyond ourselves, you know?
Right. To think about the impact we want to have.
Exactly.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. This book is packed with wisdom and practical advice for achieving both material success and inner fulfillment.
Yeah, it's a powerful combination.
What stood out to you the most?
Honestly, it's the power of belief. Believing in ourselves and believing that our thoughts can shape our reality. We're not just like along for the ride, we're creating our lives.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I love how Hill emphasizes that peace of mind is a crucial part of true success. It's not just about reaching those external goals, it's about cultivating inner peace.
Yeah, finding that contentment. And the way he combines spirituality with practical advice, it's really unique. He pushes us to look beyond the material world and tap into a deeper well of wisdom.
He reminds us that true wealth isn't about money. It's about the richness of our experiences, our relationships, and the peace that comes from living a life of purpose.
Absolutely. If you're looking for a guide to success and fulfillment, I highly recommend checking out Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. It's a timeless classic that continues to inspire people.
And if you guys enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like and subscribe to the Book Summary Podcast for more insightful explorations of books that can help you live a richer, more fulfilling life. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.